Hi, this is James Woodcock, owner of Yamaha Personal Keyboard Owner, and welcome to the new YPKO podcast. Well, to start us off, that was the main demonstration from the Yamaha PSR S500, which is the first of a series of new mid-range keyboards from Yamaha. These include the PSR S500, as you just heard, the PSR S700, and the PSR S900. On May the 25th, Yamaha Personal Keyboard Owner had a fresh new look, design and layout for its community of over 6,000 members now. If you haven't looked already, make sure you pop along to www.ypko.co.uk to find out more. Now let's move on to our interview. Hi, this is James Woodcock from Yamaha Personal Keyboard Owner, and here today I have with me Bernard Perry from Sight Read Limited, who is here to tell us all about the MusicPad Pro. Welcome to the YPKO podcast, Bernard.
Hello, James. Nice to talk to you.
So, first of all, who are Sight Read Limited?
Well, we're the UK import of the MusicPad Pro Plus, which is a product manufactured by Freehand Systems in California. And we're based in Ashton-under-Lyne, so hence the northern accent.
So now for anyone who has a good collection of sheet music, and especially people who travel with it all, the MusicPad Pro can make life that much easier. So what is MusicPad Pro?
It's an electronic sheet music display system with many additional features.
So basically, MusicPad Pro is a large LCD screen and computer in a handy device that lets you have all your sheet music stored in one compact unit. And this has to be easier than lugging around box after box of all your various sheet music, doesn't it?
Well, yes. I don't think we should really describe it as a computer in the normal sense, because it's a dedicated piece of kit which doesn't have a hard drive, so no moving parts. It uses flash memory and makes no noise whatsoever, so it's a bit unlike a laptop or PC. But yes, it does store all the scores.
So flash memory, that's like the sort of media you would use for your digital camera, smart
Indeed.
media, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, in actual fact, the MusicPad does come with an additional memory stick, so that you can store more music on that or move it around as you please, from the PC to the MusicPad itself.
Because it's a one device and not multiple boxes, this has got to be perfect if you're travelling a lot, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because it means, if you were to buy yourself an additional 1 gigabyte memory stick, you could carry around 50,000 pieces of music.
Right. So you've obviously
not
done
that
the
anybody
math.
should be that extreme, but perhaps people cruising on ships and things like that who are away for 3 months, they've just got all the music with them.
So how can you get your old sheet music onto the device, and what formats does it support?
It comes with some software for your PC or Mac, and then you can scan music in with the usual formats such as bitmaps, TIFFs, and PNGs, and then the software converts it into the freehand format, which is a dedicated format for the music pad itself. And you can also import PDFs and scores from notation software like Sibelius, Finale, and Cakewalk, and all these others that are on the market.
So if we were going to transfer some music and we've already got it scanned in, for
Yeah,
example, if you've scanned in all your sheet music all prepared, you transfer it via USB to your MusicPad Pro.
yeah. The way it displays on the screen on the PC itself is you see a picture of the top half, which is your PC and all the sheet music you've stored there, and the bottom half is a picture of the music pad, and you just click on the top and say I want that piece onto the music pad, and it just transfers it across via the cable.
So we know it can store sheet music, but what can you do with that music once you have it on the device?
Well, it works like an overlay, so anything that you import will stay in its original state, and then you can add and delete notes, words, and dynamics, highlight parts of the score, right on the screen with the stylus, and then any changes you can make, you can save as an additional version, or you can just revert back to the original if you wish. So you can do what you want with it, basically, regardless of where the original music came from.
So does this also mean you can notate from scratch?
Yes, but I think it's too tedious for that. It's not designed for that. I think you'd go back to using software like Sibelius to do things like that.
Or if you just need to make a change for
But
like a single note, and you
oh
think,
yeah,
oh,
you
that's
can
wrong.
change a few notes here, but I wouldn't start to write. Even though you can download a blank stave for the music pad, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd use it to actually write the music itself.
What we should probably also mention is you don't use a mouse or keyboard to operate the MusicPad Pro. It's a nice little stylus or little plastic pen you use on the screen because it's touch sensitive, isn't it?
That's it. I mean, it's quite discreet as well because when we first got one, we didn't actually realise where the stylus was. It's actually stuck into the top of the unit. So you just pull it out, and there's your stylus to make any change that you want on the spot, so to speak.
So of course, with sheet music, it's turning the page. It is always the main gripe, and it is probably the most useful feature that the MusicPad Pro has. I personally always tend to find that by the time you're required to turn the page, the most difficult section of the song is right at that part. Just typical.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this way you can turn the page by touching the screen or by using a foot pedal. And it's also got a feature called Look Ahead, which allows you at any point to see the top half of the next page before going to the full page.
So you mean to say that if I'm on page 1 and the difficult bit is just as it transfers from page 1 to page 2, I'll see both in perfect sync?
Once you've gone past the halfway point on page 1, at any point you want, you can ask it to display the top half of the next page. So then as soon as you're ready, you either touch the pedal or touch the screen to get you the rest of the full next page. So it's unique, isn't it? Because you couldn't do it any other way.
This is all well and good, but what if, like in a lot of music, you have to repeat from the very start of page 1 and you're on page 3?
Well, the MusicPad software allows you to build in repeats and cuts on any piece of music that you've put in there. So using either touchscreen or the foot pedal, it will take you from page 3 to page 1, then back to page 3 again, or on to page 4, whatever is required in the actual piece. So you just program it in.
So you program the sequence and you say 1, 2, 3, 1, and
Exactly.
it'll do it as you press the pedal automatically.
Yeah, in actual fact, I mean, you can either do it by selecting the pages, or you can actually play through the piece in the order and ask it to remember the way you've done it. So it's quite clever.
Something else you can't do easily with traditional sheet music is zoom in, as sometimes the notation can be extremely small in some musical pieces.
Well, with the MusicPad, you can zoom in up to 400%, and we're currently talking to the RNIB and an organisation called Musicians in Focus for the option of supplying music pads for partially sighted musicians. So because you can enlarge the score anyway, So if you produce it in Sibelius, you can produce enlarged score in Sibelius, transfer it to the MusicPad, which will also display in landscape as well as portrait. And I believe that partially sighted people struggle to actually see the edge of the pages to turn the pages, so it's going to help them there as well. So this is, it's looking very good from that point of view. I think musicians in focus are particularly excited about the possibilities.
Where do we see this product at the moment? Is it in schools, any educational sectors?
Well, I think it's totally across the board. We've supplied quite a lot of home users and semi-pros. We supplied Jeff Wayne for the War of the Worlds tour, which used music pads for a 10-piece rock band, including 5 keyboards, and a 48-piece string section. And he's looking at there is going to be a conductor's version out soon called the Maestro, which is a 19-inch screen, and he's looking to have one of those so that he can conduct from it as opposed to using the standard music pad. So instead of them having I think it was something like 500 sheets of music, there was no paper on the stage whatsoever. And because it was 45 minutes of continuous playing, it meant a lot of page turns if somebody had to use traditional music. We've also recently supplied a full orchestra, and we've supplied the educational faculty of one of the major teaching universities. So it is definitely an across-the-board product. And there's quite a lot of interest from the Christian music side. I think we've just supplied one to Dave Bilborough, who's one of the writers and performers of Christian music, who you'll probably see on Songs of Praise, that sort of thing. So it's going very well.
So good widespread, but what about the home user? Is there a lot of interest there as well?
Yeah, I think at the moment we've probably individual music pads we've probably supplied more to the home user than anything else. We're now probably up to 6 Tyros 2 players who've bought music pads, so that's good. I think that's as a result of the your keyboard owner's website, to be honest.
I'm glad to help.
The reviews obviously getting to quite a few Tyros players who are impressed with it.
So, seeing as we're talking about the website, what do you think to the new Yamaha personal keyboard owner since it went live?
Oh, I think it's superb. Yeah, I think it's really good. It looks a lot more modern now, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely, yes.
Yeah, and I mean, it's obviously very good for us with that nice review on the front. You said you've had 250 odd hits from us. How many actually are on it these days then?
Oh, well, let's see. Well, we've got over 6,300 members currently, averaging about 15,000 hits a day since the new website launch.
Really? Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's doing very well. I'm quite excited of what will happen in the future now, because before, some of the articles were locked off unless you're actually registered, and even though registration is free, that would put some people off. But now it's completely open, and of course we still encourage people to register because there's a fantastic friendly community on the website as well. But it also means now that search engines can scan all of the content, and that means I was just actually looking at the hits this morning, and before on the older website about 2 to 3% of all the hits came from search engines before, but on the new website 20%. So that means search engines are obviously getting as much more traffic now.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So it's worldwide, really, I suppose, because it's on the web. It's worldwide.
Well, definitely, yes. I mean, although it's UK based, and we have a very good majority, I would say, UK community. There's people from all over the world. I won't bore you with all the countries, but there's lots of people taking part in the website. So yeah, it's fantastic, and it's going to be great. And I have quite a few more things planned as well. So watch this space.
Yeah, I think one of our customers was on there originally when he'd first bought the music pad, talking about it because he was so pleased with it, and he was a home user, so that's really good. And then you see the feedback. I didn't interfere I didn't butt in on anything at all, because I don't think it's prudent for me to do that, because I'm not a Tyros 2 player or anything like that. So it would look like from a sales point of view, but I just thought it's really good to see that people are talking about the music pad now, so that's good. It's a good basis for doing things.
Oh, yes. Now let's take a breather from the interview and take some calls.
Hi there, James. This is Andrew from Sheffield, also known as Origami Boy on the Yamaha PKO forums. Just calling to congratulate you on the new site. I mean, I understand how hard you're working on it and for how long, and it's really came off. So I hope that the new site is as successful as the old one, and I wish you the best of luck in any future endeavours. Thanks so much.
Thanks for that, Andrew. I certainly spent many months working on the new website, so I hope everyone enjoys it, as seems to be from all the comments I've received so far. Now on to the next caller. Now, unfortunately, this person spoke a little too soon and it didn't catch the introduction, but luckily, I'm sure we probably know who this is anyway. So this is Willie, better known as Tyros 2 Man on the forums.
It's very good to see that there is so many brand new members joining Yamaha Personal Keyboard Owner, and the site is just going from strength to strength, James. I think the site is far, far better laid out. It's fantastic, and to me, if anybody, I just wish that all these people that are guests, James, would sign up for the site. I think there's many, many great new features on Yamaha Personal Keyboard Owner. It's beyond belief. You can feature this in the new podcast, which I can't wait until it comes out. Anyway, nice talking to you, James. Bye for now.
Yes, it certainly does make sense to register on Yamaha Personal Keyboard Owner, as you get that much greater community feeling and participation which you just don't get as a guest. So thank you both for your calls. Hopefully more of you will now ring in and leave some voicemail messages for me. To call from the UK, 0207 193 3092, and worldwide that's 0044 207 193 3092. Now, let's go back to the interview. So you can also purchase digital sheet music direct for the MusicPad Pro, but how is this achieved and where should we go?
Well, this is currently via freehandmusic.com in the US, but as from July, we hope to have sightreadmusic.co.uk, which will have their full library of over 90,000 pieces of legally downloaded sheet music, and that can be both for the MusicPad and non-MusicPad owners, because it's got its own viewer which will play back the MIDI files, and you can transpose the music and then you can print the music. So what we want to do was to make it so that people could buy in pounds sterling instead of dollars from the States, because I think sometimes people are a little bit worried about using their credit cards overseas and things like that. And of course, we will then be going back to the Americans and saying, well, in the UK, we prefer to have this, this, and this. You know, we know you like that, but we have different tastes over here. So I hope we'll be able to add to the library. So it's quite exciting from that point of view.
So 90,000.
Indeed, because they have deals with Sony, BMG, EMI, Universal, and all the big publishers to reproduce the musical scores electronically. So all the royalties go back to where they should do, and it is very well monitored for copyright and everything else. So it's yes, we're looking forward to that, because we think that'll enhance the MusicPad sales as well, because it means you've got a source for some good quality music you can download into it.
So with 90,000 pieces of music, I'm sure members are going to find something they're after, aren't they?
I'd hope so, yeah. I mean, there's quite a lot of... You can search by instrument, by artist, by genre, or any way you like, really. So there's a good way of pinning down exactly what music is there.
If it's not there, will people be able to sort of send an email and say, is there any possibility of getting such and such?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're planning to have on the website.
So maybe more of the rarer sheet music, which you can't buy in paper form, may be available digitally sometime down the line?
According to Freehand, yeah, there is already music that's gone out of circulation that they're obviously putting back into circulation. So I think they've only put a small percentage of the Sony stuff on, so therefore there's a lot more to go on there yet. So it's just getting bigger and bigger, and it seems to be the new way of obtaining sheet music, because it's quite difficult when you go into the shops to get what you want.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm sure we've seen many devices go digital if we take the simple camera. When that went digital at first, people were like, oh, I don't know about this, but now people have got used to it and the benefits of what digital does give you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what accessories are available for the MusicPad Pro once you've purchased your bit of kit?
Well, we've got a specially modified stand, and that's been well received, actually. It's certainly been well received by people playing things like guitars, because the area that blocks out the player is only the music pad itself, as opposed to, like the big rat stands where you're hidden behind the stand to a certain extent, so people can actually watch you playing your instruments a little bit more. Now, naturally, I think, presumably we're talking more keyboard here.
Well, yes.
Well, yeah. Well, with the keyboard, I think the choices are, people with pianos and keyboards have either decided to put the music pad on the piano itself, or they've used the desk stand that comes with it and put it on the top of the piano, or where they've got a keyboard, they've used the stand that we provide behind the keyboard, but it comes over the top, if you can understand. I suppose it's quite difficult to explain. Yeah, difficult on one of these things. But do you know what I mean?
Oh, I think I do.
So although the stand itself is behind the keyboard, it's leaning over the top of the keyboard from a viewing point of view.
So really, it's set up in a position that you can view it optimally while playing.
Indeed.
There we go.
And then, of course, there's the modified Roland DP10 foot pedal, which we supply for the page turning. If you plug in your ordinary DP10, that won't work. If it does anything, it may turn the pages backwards, but it doesn't turn them forwards. So this is special wiring. So that's very specific.
So in other words, we can't bung in any old foot pedal and hope it turns the pages.
Indeed, because I took one of the Roland DPs that we supply to one of the music shops and said, does this, because I couldn't understand why it had to be different, does this work with the keyboard? And they tried it. No. So it is a modification.
Did that mean the registrations went backwards?
I don't think so. Anyway, the other thing is we do the carrying case as well. And the other item that's on our price list is the premium tools, which is the bit that adds additional annotating features, an built-in MP3 player, MIDI player, pitch pipe and metronome. Now, we actually charge that as a premium tools upgrade for £29 as an extra item. So what I'm going to suggest to you is that if anybody comes on via your website, they can have that free of charge.
So a little bit of a bargain for anyone who's interested and who visits Yamaha Personal Keyboard. Well, thank you very much for that. That'll be very well received.
Oh, good. You're welcome.
So, actually, when you get the MusicPad Pro, what comes in the box?
The MusicPad and the power block with UK cabling, because we obviously switch that over because it comes in from the States. And then it comes also with a 64 megabyte memory stick and a CD for the software for loading onto your Mac or PC.
If you know off the top of your head, how much sheet music will a 64 megabyte flash media card hold?
Believe that's something along the lines of 250. You've got to say general, because you can have pieces of music that are 1 page or 25 pages, can't you, I suppose? I mean, one of our recent customers, he came in for a demo. I think he was a Tyros 2-person, actually. Came in for a demo, bought it on the spot, and I rang him back a week later and said, how are you getting on with the MusicPad? He said, I've put 250 lead sheets in it already. I'm absolutely delighted. So you can get that music in quite quickly if you're prepared to put that initial effort in.
Well, that's it. With anything like this, you have to have that initial effort, but once it's there and done, you'll never look back to the paper form.
Yeah, indeed. And the other thing about it is, if you're going out doing gigs, you can create playlists so that you can say, I'll be doing this, 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 followed by this, and they're all there, lined up, ready to play. Or if you do things by request, you can have a list of all the music that you've got there, and just go, click on the one that you want, tap on the one that you want on the screen, and up it comes, and off you go.
Now, playlist has got to be great for gigging because especially if you're doing things like weddings and other birthday events, whatever, you may have a separate playlist for each event.
Indeed. So you can organise all your music into folders anyway. So and then you can take any music out of the folder, so to speak, and put them into a playlist.
Now, again, that would be incredibly difficult with paper, wouldn't it? Especially if you're doing requests and you're trying to search for that bit of sheet music.
Yeah, I think we've had quite a few positive comments on that side of things, because I mean the other thing about it, I mean, when we see things on stage, you see musicians with pieces of sheets of music thrown all over the floor because they've grabbed the next piece and they've got to get rid of the one that they're on already. So it can look quite untidy on the stage, this paper stuff.
Yeah, and they tend to have rips and coffee stains, and some go missing, and
indeed,
all good fun.
So all that goes away.
So as we record this, currently what is the price in the UK for the MusicPad Pro?
It is £495 plus VAT.
Well, is there anything you'd like to say to our members before we finish?
I think it'd be really good if you carry on the forum talking to each other about it, and those that who've bought one, if they can go on and make the comments along the lines of what they've been doing with it, I think that'd be really good, because that gives people natural feedback from their particular angle, because of course we're talking to all sorts of musicians. It will be better that way, I think. So hope people carry on talking about it and more people carry on buying it, because it's proving to be a pretty exciting product at the moment.
Well, word of mouth is very powerful, isn't it? And not only have they got the forum, but now, since the new website went up, they can actually comment on the article itself.
Yeah, that's great. I shall be logging in regularly to have a look. Although I'll get the feedback, won't I, if somebody's actually commented on the forum, I think.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's how it worked last time, so I assume it's going to be exactly the same.
Oh, it's all there.
Great stuff. Well, I think it's really good.
I'm glad you like
it. Have you set this up because you are a Yamaha keyboard player or not?
Oh dear, do you want the full history?
Well, it's entirely up to you. It's your problem. You can edit it if you want.
Okay, let's see if we can get this out in one shot. Are you ready for this?
Go on then.
Okay, I did keyboards and things at school, but I had a mild interest in it and enjoyed it, but it was never that great. I never got that inspired by it all. So years later, I decided to get a beginner Yamaha keyboard, and
right.
I think it was the Easy 250i with the light-up keys, and it was great. You could even hook it up to your PC, and you had this bit of software where you could play along. Great stuff. But then, of course, with it being a beginner keyboard, after a while, I started getting much better, and I thought, I want more styles, I want more voices. So I was going to step up to something like the PSR 550, but then I saw a Michelle Vonken demonstration of Tyrus 1, and that was it, I was hooked. So I got the Tyrus 1, after lots of convincing my mother that it was a good investment, and absolutely adored the Tyrus 1, and because of that, I thought, well, I like doing websites and things, so I'll set up a website around that and try and drum up support for it. I really didn't know how popular it was going to be. And now I have a Tyros 2, which of course is the current flagship model, and it's just mind-blowing what you can do with it, and that just keeps on giving me that inspiration, enthusiasm to keep on running the website. The members are fantastic on it, so yeah, it's a really good community, and I've still got lots of enthusiasm for Yamaha, so yeah. It could go on and on and on.
Oh, very good. I mean, I suppose at some point I might have my son on to me asking about one of these, because he set off with a Casio, and I think he's moved through 2 or 3 different ones, and he went off to do music and music technology degree over in Liverpool. So he plays the piano, the keyboard, and the drums, believe it or not.
Ah, good variety there.
Yeah, but he's. I think he's still. I have a feeling he's still got another Casio one that cost him about £350 or something like that. He's only graduated about 12 months, so he's not got any money, so it'd be down to me. We've already got the ordinary piano in the house. But he doesn't live at home anymore, so I don't know. If he puts a request in for his birthday for a Tyros 2, I don't think the answer will be instantly yes at this point.
You'll be running.
Yeah, I'll keep quiet about this subject for now. Don't know whether I should get him to listen to the podcast or not.
Yes, don't show him the sound samples page.
Right.
Well, thank you for your time, Bernard, and I'm sure our members will be very grateful for the offer you have made available to them.
Yeah, well, thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to do this, because I think it's been really good.
You can find out more about MusicPad Pro over at www.siteread.co.uk. That's sightread.co.uk. And that was Alan Titchmarsh reporting from the Chelsea Flower Show. Okay, I'm joking. Maybe just a little there, but he did sound a little bit like Alan Titchmarsh, don't you think? Yes? No? Oh well, I'll leave you to comment on that one. So, as we bring YPKO podcast number 6 to a close, let's finish with the E403 from Yamaha. This is one of their beginner keyboards, but just listen to some of the sounds this can create.